After this flag was chosen, it had to go through a number of adjustments to make the flag much better. After this flag was chosen, it had to go through a number of adjustments. For example, the color of the stripes and the canton changed place. So it means that the red canton changed to a blue canton and the blue stripes turned into red stripes. This is significant because it shows the connection between the former flag of the Majapahit Empire in the past, which was a great empire in the region, and also it shows the connection towards the state of Johor, which is also in Malaya. Some people also say that the red stripes resemble the connection towards the East India, the British East India Company, which administered a few parts of Malaya during the colonial times. Not only did they change the stripes and the color of the canton, but a Malayan senior statesman, Dato' Onn Jaafar, met with the designer of this flag, and he suggested that he suggested that the star of the flag be changed into not 5 stripes, because ironically at the time Malaya was facing a communist insurgency and they were against communists, and the 5 pointed stars resembled the communist icon. Because of that, Dato' Onn Jaafar suggested to the designer to make because of that, Dato' Onn Jaafar suggested to the designer to add 5 more points to the star so that it will resemble the 11 member states of Malaya. So after all these adjustments were made, the Malayan flag was finally approved by King George VI on 19th May 1950, and it was first raised in front of the Sultan of and After all these adjustments were made, the Malayan flag finally was approved by King George VI, and it was finally raised on 19th of May 1950 in the residence of the Sultan of Selangor. And it was finally raised in the Sultan of Selangor's residence on 26th of May 1950. And this flag was also the flag that will fly during the Day of Independence from the British, and it will be the flag that will replace the British Union Jack during the time of independence. So who was actually the designer behind this flag? His name was Muhammad Hamzah, and he was a 29-year-old architect which worked in the Public Works Department, So who was the designer behind this flag? It was a 29-year-old architect named Muhammad Hamzah, and he was an architect and also a public worker in the Public Works Department in Johor Bahru, Johor. So when the competition was held, he submitted two entries into the competition. Firstly, this one, and secondly, the second one. So the second one was chosen, and just like I told you before, it went through some adjustments and it finally became the official flag of Malaya until this day. So when Malaya was a country, it used the flag that was used during independence. But in 1963, when Singapore, Sabah, and North Borneo. And in 1963, when Singapore, Sabah, and Sarawak joined Malaya to form Malaysia, they had to do some modifications to reflect and honor the new member states of the Federation. So they had three additional stripes and were added, and 3 more points were added to the star to represent the 11 member states of Malaya plus Singapore, Sabah, and Sarawak. Even after Singapore left Malaysia in 1965, the design of the flag remained the same. In 1974, when Kuala Lumpur was designated as a federal territory, the 14th stripe and the 14th point in the star was appropriated to the meaning of the 14th point of the star and also the 14th stripe were changed to mean Kuala Lumpur as a federal territory. But also, when Labuan in 1984 and when Putrajaya in 2001 was also designated as federal territories, the 14th point in the star and also the 14th stripe were meant to mean the 14th point in the star and also the 14th stripe were meant to mean the federal government in general. So ever since that moment, the flag of Malaysia has not changed ever. Ever since that moment, the flag of Malaysia has not changed, and the meaning and symbolism behind the flag was also this. And the meaning and symbolism of this flag remains the same till this day. So we can see that the flag of Malaysia lived through many years and it still flies proudly today. So what actually happened to the designer Muhammad Hamzah? He passed away in 1993. Okay, so now let's see the design of this flag. So this flag is made of a blue canton, 14 alternating red and white stripes, one yellow crescent moon, and one 14-pointed yellow star. So the blue in this flag means the unity of the Malaysian people, because Malaysia is made of many races and because the Malaysian population comes from many racial and ethnic backgrounds, and unity is a very important theme in Malaysian society. And these alternating red and white stripes represents the 13 member states in Malaysia and also the 3 federal territories. And these 14 alternating red and white stripes represents the 13 member states and the 3 federal territories that form Malaysia. The yellow crescent here represents Islam, and in Malaysia, Islam, according to the constitution, Islam is the religion of the Federation, but any other religion is also free to be practiced in the Federation. And this yellow 14-pointed star represents the unity between the 13 member states and the federal territories to form Malaysia. An interesting side note, the federal star or the Bintang Persekutuan shares a similar concept to Australia's Commonwealth Star, where it represents the unity of states in the Malaysian Federation, just like how it represents the unity of states in Australia. And this federal star or the Bintang Persekutuan is also used in the Royal Malaysian Air Force roundel. It's also used in the flag of the Chinese Malaysian Association. No. So now, let's see the design of this flag. So this flag has 4 colors: blue, yellow, red, and white. It has 1 canton, and it has 14 alternating red and white stripes. So the blue canton here represents the unity of the Malaysian people, because the Malaysian population is made of many racial and ethnic backgrounds, and unity is an important theme in Malaysian society. And this red and white alternating stripes, it represents the 13 member states and the 3 federal territories that form Malaysia. And this crescent represents Islam, and according to the constitution, Islam is the religion of the federation. And this 14-pointed star represents the unity between the 13 member states and the federal territories. So what does the color actually mean? Like I said just now, blue means the unity of the people. Red. Red means bravery and boldness. And white means kindness and purity. So what does the color in these flags actually mean? So today it's widely accepted that blue means the unity of the people, red means the bravery of the people, white means purity, and yellow represents the color of the royals of Malaysia, which and yellow represents the color of the royals of Malaysia. Yes, Malaysia is a monarchy, and we have monarchs, and in which right now yes, Malaysia is a monarchy, and right now our current reigning monarch is our 15th monarch, or the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, and our current monarch, or Yang di-Pertuan Agong, is the 15th one to reign is the 15th one to rule our country. Interesting side note, this federal star or the Bintang Persekutuan is also an icon used in many other flags in this country. For example, it's used in the Royal Malaysian Air Force roundel. It's also used in the flag of the Malaysian Chinese Association, which is a party for the Chinese population of Malaysia. It's also used in the Patani Melayu National Revolution. It is also used in the Patani Melayu National Revolutionary Front, which is a Southern Thai Malay separatist group, which is a separatist group in southern Thailand, which is involved in the Southern Thailand insurgency. It uses the federal star, but it adds one more point to make it 15 points, because to represent that they are members of Malaysia, which are much more culturally similar towards them, in which they are Malay and they are also Muslim. So when this flag was created in the 1950s, the original symbolism was very different to what it is today. The red, white, and blue represents that Malaya is part of the Commonwealth, and the crescent and the star represents Islam as the official religion of the Federation, and the yellow color. So the original symbolism behind this flag during the 1950s was quite different from what it is today. The red, white, and blue used to represent Malaya as a member of the Commonwealth, and the yellow color represents the color of the royals, and the crescent represents okay. So it seems like this flag has had so it seems like this flag has many so it seems like this flag has left a mark on many people in this region. So what actually So it seems like this flag has left a mark on many people in this region, and we have to give a huge thanks to the person who designed it. But the designer Muhammad Hamzah passed away in February 1993, but his legacy lives on forever. In 1997, during the 40th anniversary of Malaysia's independence, then Prime Minister, the Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad, our twice Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad invited all Malaysians to come together to find a name to name this flag, and the Prime Minister picked the name Jalur Gemilang, which meant stripes of glory, to represent the country's onward drive towards success. To represent the country's onward drive for continuous growth and success. And until today, this flag is commonly known as the Jalur Gemilang. So this flag is usually flown during the National Day celebrations. It is flown on cars, at homes, on buildings, on walls. Name it all, we Malaysians have put flags on it everywhere. The Malaysian flag can be seen everywhere in Malaysia. For example, people fly it on cars, people put it on buildings, in their homes, make clothes out of it, make hats out of it. Name it all, we Malaysians have used the Malaysian flag to do all sort of things, no matter what time. To honor the patriotic spirit behind the flag much more, the people of Malaysia decided to create a flag anthem, which is a song telling us to be proud of our flag. So the original flag anthem was Benderaku, written by Tony Fonseca. I bet you, the Malaysian viewers, haven't even heard of the song. I personally haven't even heard of this song. But after the flag was given the name Jalur Gemilang in 1997, the flag anthem was updated. The flag anthem was updated in 1997 to reflect this change. This was then followed by an introduction of a new song written by Malaysian songwriter Pak Ngah and Siso Kopratasa. And this song is very famous among Malaysians today, and I bet you Malaysians have heard this song many times and I'm sure you, the Malaysian viewer, have heard this song many times, especially during National Day celebrations. So until today, the Malaysian flag is regarded as one of the most important national symbols of the country, and people cherish the flag so much, and it serves as a national identity for the people to say proudly that I am Malaysian. So we can see by Studying a flag of a country or any national symbol of a country, we can delve into the history of the country and see how the country was formed, how it is, and how it will be in the future. Not only, and this can be said for any country in the world, not only Malaysia. This proves the importance of a flag. So that's it for today. So to my Malaysian viewers, my question for you is, how do you view how what is your view on the Malaysian flag? And to my viewers from other places than Malaysia, what are your first impressions when you see the Malaysian flag? That's all about the Malaysian flag. Thank you very much.